英国脱欧进入最后倒数100天，但英国的未来至今犹如笼罩在百里雾中，伸手不见五指，而且前景堪虞。刚挺过惊涛骇浪的一周，成功抵挡党内逼宫的首相梅伊，在当地时间12月17日卷土重来，为脱欧协议的闯关奋力一搏。
That we intend to return to the meaningful vote debate in the week commencing 7th of January and hold the vote the following week. Now, we must honour our duty to finish the job. I know this is not everyone's perfect deal. It is a compromise. But if we let the perfect be the enemy of the good, then we risk leaving the EU with no deal. And any proposal for the future relationship, whether Norway, Canada, or any other variety that has been mentioned, would require agreeing this withdrawal agreement.
梅伊上星期2度急奔欧盟寻求澳元和转圜，但都遭到冷漠相待，最后无功而返。他在答询中拒绝为此道歉，表示仍将趁国会休兵期间争取重启协商，为全球第5大经济体寻求最好的待遇。然而，倘若脱欧协议和政治宣言在明年1月中依旧无法获得下议院背书，时间也不会等人。英国脱欧终将在毫无协议之下，于3月29日深夜准时启动，而政府已经着手规划对此因应。这番发言遭到反对阵营的强烈抨击，扬言发动对内阁的不信任案，并重新大选，双方激烈交锋。
And let us not follow the leader of the opposition in thinking about what gives him the best chance of forcing a general election. For at this critical moment in our history, we should be thinking not about our party's interests, but about the national interest. Let us find a way to come together and work together in the national interest to see this Brexit through.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister boasted I had a robust discussion with President Juncker, but that cannot hide the cold reality that she achieved nothing. A responsible Prime Minister would, for the good of this country, have put this deal before the House this week. So we could move on from this government's disastrous negotiations. This, Mr. Speaker, is a constitutional crisis, and the Prime Minister is the architect of it. She's leading the most shambolic and chaotic government in modern British history. Even Cabinet no longer functions.
Yes, the Cabinet wants to ensure that we leave the European Union with a good deal, and that is this deal. Indecision is the indecision at the heart of a Labour Party that has no plan and no alternative. And the national crisis is an opposition that is irresponsible, that puts its party interests first before the interests of the British people.
英国媒体调侃吵成一团的国会跟疯人院没两样，脱欧协议依旧毫无进展，更让企业界胆战心惊。如今摆在英国眼前的选项有3个：赶在最后1分钟表决通过协议，终止脱欧计划，或者无协议脱欧。也就是闹钟一响，欧盟直接终止英国会籍，逐出欧洲单一市场，切断所有现行权利义务关系，而且没有缓冲期。不论哪种方案，英国社会都会付出不同程度的惨痛代价。《经济学人》杂志则在上述3个选项外抛出了2次公投的主张，认为唯有此举才能够为僵局解套。
It's chaos, but I think probably the most likely is that she soldiers on, she brings her deal to the House of Commons, it doesn't get through, and then the clock keeps ticking. And I imagine that the most likely scenario is that in the end, I think, and I'm sticking my neck out a bit here, but in the end, I think we will end up with a second referendum in this country because Parliament will be unable to make up its mind, no majority for anything, so eventually the the question of whether to stay in the European Union or whether to go out on the deal that she has negotiated will be put back to the people. But that's obviously extremely divisive in a country that's completely divided. Both parties, both main parties are completely divided. Whether you are a Brexiter or a Remainer, these are the phrases that get bandied around, is the defining issue in Britain today.
无独有偶，前工党首相布莱尔近日也透过公开访谈，呼吁梅伊慎重考虑启动2次脱欧公民投票的可能性。前工党政府外交大臣米利班甚至认为，英国需要全新的政党来解决脱欧这个事关一整个世代的决定。
What does this do to British politics? Does it, as Annie says, does it sort of upend it completely in a way that it is now arrayed around this sort of open-closed divide rather than the traditional left-right divide?
The Brexit that was promised is not available, and that's why British politics is in uncharted waters. That's why Britain is in danger of sailing into a kind of Bermuda Triangle where there is no majority for anything, and we end up crashing out of the European Union on the 29th of March.
But I have to get to politics because, of course, again, if you have the Labour Party divided between the pro-Brexiteers and the Remainers, the Tory Party divided between the pro-Brexiteers and Remainers, there is an argument that what we need is a new party that will gather together the pro-European, pro-internationalist, pro-Brexit. And let me finish, because you know where I'm going. And lots of people say you should lead it.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that the Tory party's tragedy has been to be obsessed with Europe. Labour's tragedy has been to be complacent about Europe. You've got a Tory party which is led by a Remain voting Prime Minister. It's a Leave party. Labour is a Remain party. It's actually not very divided, but it's got a sceptic, not to say Leaver-inclined leader in Jeremy Corbyn. And so I think that it's not simply a matter that the parties are both divided and that's why we're stuck. We've got an absence of strategy on the part of both main leaders.
英国政府日前同意拨款20亿英镑，作为2019脱欧后的海陆空边境、国防安全和国贸经费。国防部也承诺调派3500名军人待命，协助应对无协议脱欧之后可能发生的状况。在内政外交双重夹击之下，梅伊的责任重大，而整个英国已经开始弥漫着山雨欲来的气氛。